This was my first digital camera, the Vivitar Vivicam 3615. It was given to me on Christmas of 2002, and here we have probably my first selfie ever, and it was taken with this camera. The 3615 was manufactured by Vivitar and released earlier that year on January 15th, 2002. Here we can see website from the time on a period accurate web browser thanks to theoldnet.com and archive.org. Navigating their website, we can see their camera listings include a broken JPEG of the Vivicam 3615. And we can see the specs: an amazing 2.11 megapixel sensor, 1600 by 1200 resolution, 2x digital zoom, a 1.6 inch color LCD display, 8 megabytes of internal storage expandable with a compact flash card, and a built-in flash. Before we dive deeper into the camera, let me explain Vivitar. Vivitar has been in the camera business for ages. They are best known for buying and importing goods from overseas and putting their logo on them, such as this old Japanese-made light meter. You can still easily find Vivitar products for sale today, such as in the bargain section of your favorite department store.
Okay, that's enough history. Let's take a look at the camera now.
This is it, the Vivitar 3615. This came from eBay. And it is a chunky boy. It is very, very thick. And it uses a lot of batteries, and it eats through them too. It just eats through batteries. I mean, look at that. It takes 4 of these antelopes, and it just devastates them. So I guess we'll look at the top here. All right, now let's go over what we got. The camera has a few modes. It has a camera mode for shooting, a viewing mode for viewing, a setup mode for setting up, a mode for deleting, and a mode for syncing. Now I can't show this because I don't have the USB port, which leads me to here, our ports. So we have USB using a port I've never seen before. Well, I have since I used this in the past, but a video out and a DC 6 volt. Now we can't access the internal storage of this camera, which is 8 megs. We're stuck with the 64 megs, which is not a problem at all. So yes, that's this camera. Now, let's go over the menu here. You turn it on, and you get this nice little menu here. Now, this screen's a bit broken, but what do you see? You can see you have your flash settings, whether you're in macro or distance, and that's changed through this menu here. So you would push that, and you'd go in and change that. And then there is the quality, which is weird. There's no menu for the quality. You actually, keep pushing this. Oh, we're in the wrong mode. As for quality, as you can see here, we can take 464 photos, but the quality is 1 star at the smallest size. So you'd push this button, and now, we only get 57 photos at the highest setting. And then you'd tap, 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 tap to decrease. And you have to press over and over again. You can't set it through the menus or the setup. It's done through this button, which is kind of weird. I've not really seen that before. And then, of course, there's the flash. And we'll go through the menus separately, but it also has a display here. So if we go to here, and then you push this button here, it turns on the display, which we can't really see anything. We'll grab a Game Boy camera and we'll point it at it here so you can see that. And if you take a picture, right? Oh, it's having trouble focusing. One thing with this camera, right? If it can't focus, it won't take a picture. And it takes a hot minute to write a picture to there. But you can go there, and there it is. There's our Game Boy camera. So, we'll look at the menus. We'll look at some photos, and we'll see what comes out. The camera has a few basic menus that we can navigate through. One is a setup menu where we can set date, time, language, video mode, very basic stuff. The next menu is the delete menu where we can delete individual photos. And then the final menu is the record menu where we can adjust the camera settings when it's in record mode, such as the white balance or the focus mode, or just the brightness of the LCD itself. So before we move on to shooting photos, I thought I'd show you what you actually see if you're looking at the display. So the camera is set to shoot mode, and this is what is displayed on the display. We're using the analog out, and yeah, you get this, I don't know, lo-fi 90s, early 2000s look. It's not great, and if I move my head really fast, right, you get a
you get lines and stuff. It's not great, but it's cool. And if you were to plug this into a VCR or something, you could get some really grungy, dingy video out of this, which I think's fun and neat. I don't know, you might be in the market for something like this. Definitely worth a try. So let's move on to actual photographs. To use this thing as it was intended in the next scene. So we'll go with movie magic away.
I think we thoroughly covered the camera enough. So let's go out, walk around Sydney, and get a few shots. Our first destination will be the Chinese Garden of Friendship. It's a beautiful little garden located in Darling Harbour, and I love going here to test out my cameras. One, it gives me a bit of consistency as there's a few things that I photograph every time I'm here, and it's just a general peaceful place. I like to just sit by the waterfall and just chill for a bit. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how the photos came out. The camera does pretty well in daylight. It does have a bit of a weird color cast to everything, but I do like it. It feels like I can't pinpoint the time period. It's a bit timeless, and it's quite nice. Our next destination are just a few snaps I grabbed on George Street in Sydney. I pointed one towards the direction of the sun. The lens definitely gets a pretty nasty lens flare, but that's fine. It definitely has a character to it. Next, I went to an arcade called Coco, located on George Street, Sydney, to get some photos of old arcade machines in a low-light environment. And again, I'm pretty surprised at how well it did, particularly this close-up of a pinball machine. I like how the DDR machine came out too. It definitely feels like some random photo you'd see on a bulletin board or a PHP-BB forum back in the day. Definitely cool stuff. Finally, I want to do some low light stuff, so I took it out to Vivid Sydney. That was still going on when I was working on this video originally. And actually, I quite like a few of these photos. It definitely struggles in low light without a flash. But you'll get a pretty decent shot just as long as you have a steady hand. Overall, it's fairly usable for a pretty generic camera from the early 2000s, so yeah, it's not bad. Hey, thanks for watching the video. It's actually been a few months since I recorded all that other stuff. I just finally finished it up. I know my channel's Analog and Chill, but I plan on uploading a few Digicam videos, including this Vivitar camera. This one in particular, this was my childhood camera. Well, not this exact one. My original one died. It is a replacement that I picked up a few months ago on eBay. Overall, this camera is pretty solid, actually. It's not amazing, but it gets you that, well, early 2000s Digicam look. It has replaceable batteries, so you don't have to worry about hunting down lithium-ion batteries or NiCads that have long since expired. And it uses compact flash, which you can easily plug into a computer today. So if you see one, pick one up, but there are other options, and we might look at a few others later. But overall, this is a solid little Digicam and is quite fun. It is a very clunky boy, and with that, it has some charm. I'll see you in the next video, and take care. Bye. The video's Ogre, so like, subscribe, check my channel for more videos, which you might find interesting, such as the ones in the cards that I've put up. Alright, take care, and have a lovely evening. Bye.